Hello party people, hello, it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I am here today with project number 1 from the May 2022 Mayflowers Bargain Bead Box. I'm super excited about it. So it's going to be kind of an intensive project. It's going to take a couple of hours to do with the knotting, so just know that. But I am going to give options throughout the video about if you want to make a smaller one, you can. I did make the longer one. That was a plan. So that's the one that I'm going to make. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I invite you all to come back for more of the mini series. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can find me on the internet again. And let's get down to the mat and get this party started. Alright guys, here we are down on the mat. We're gonna get started. I've taken the liberty of taking all of the beads off of the little strings and gotten them ready for us, and I am prepared to start on with our pendant that's how I usually like to start. So these are all the beads that we're going to be using. We're going to be using the chip beads, the citrine chip beads, the dyed pink quartz with the bead caps, the leaves, the the pressed glass leaves and the metal leaves, the yellow jade, a toggle clasp, and the cat's eye bicones. So I'm super excited about this project. FYI, if you are just joining us or if you are new here, we are in a working studio. This is the Thunderhorse Descendant studio where we are packing and shipping orders, and we are currently creating packaging for our new bead packs that are coming, and so that is the Cricut machine you are hearing in the background. It is what it is. Without further ado, let's get this party started. I'm going to zoom in a little more, not too much, just about that much. Honestly, I don't feel very flowery today. It is gloomy outside and wet and cold, but you know, we're just doing the best that we can. So what we're going to use today as far as materials is all I'm going to use is this S-long cording or C-long cording. So we do sell this on the Thunderhorse Descendant website. If you need some, we have some colors and we'll restock on Friday as well. But I've just really been into knotting lately, so we got a lot of this cord rolling around. And then I'm going to be using the Beadsmith diamond tweezers. That's these guys. They're a very nice tweezer. They're very pointy and they have grip on the inside. If you need some of these as well, you can also pick those up on Thunderhorse Descendant. They're $2.99. I've got to get Mr. Bunsen. He is over there investigating the Cricut, and that is not good, so I'll be right back. Okay, crisis averted with the cat. Alright, here we go. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is things that I'm using. So I've already talked about these tools, and that's it. I guess we are also going to be using some Loctite super glue. So there we go. Now, things I'm going to be adding to this project that did not come in the Bargain Bead Box, which isn't normally something that I do, but I am going to add this one little spacer bead. I know you're like, Randy, what is the significance of this one little spacer bead? You will see. Alright, so I'm going to start with this red bronze head pin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to hold the bead comfortably like this, and I'm going to cut above my finger. Okay? Easy peasy. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. That might be a bit long. I gotta cut a little more off. There we go. I'm going to take this, and when I'm holding it like this, when I feel the other end of my plier, I should not feel any wire there. Okay? Simple loop. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to start to roll it over. And once my hand gets in this weird position where I can't go anymore, I'm going to then let go of pressure, come back to the top, maybe even a little more, and roll some more. I'm going to roll until this loop hits that other wire and it looks like a lopsided lollipop. Hope you guys can see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose and I'm going to go inside the loop and I'm going to push this that way and I'm going to pull this up so it looks like a lollipop. Okay, so now you can see there's a little bit of space in there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to close that space up. And that's all I'm going to do for my loop. Okay, then I'm going to attach my loop onto this piece of filigree. So it's a dangle with my oval jump ring. Easy peasy. Then I'm going to attach the other. I just don't know if you guys are in here enough, can see everything. And I'm going to attach this other piece of filigree. Close that up. And one more to go. Oh, someone just bought something from my shop. I heard the chinger all the way from down here. Thank you, whoever you are. Appreciate your support. Attach this onto the focal. Okay, so now this is what we have at this point. Okay, cute, right? And I might add some more dangles down here later on, but for right now, we're just getting everything in place. Next up, we are going to be using this flower bead and a bead cap and a bicone. Now, this is where this little spacer comes into play. Oh, I forgot to add one of the eye pins they provided us. Let me get that out of here. I had put all the eye pins in this other project. But we do need one for this particular situation. Alrighty, got that all taken care of. Alright, now with this one, I'm going to start by putting on this little spacer. So what this is going to do is, in essence, it's going to provide a place. It's going to provide kind of a little platform place for my beads down here. Okay. So I'm going to put on the bead cap, and I don't know if this is going to work, the bead cap on this bead, but I'm going to look at it. I'm going to go with no. I'll try to hammer it out real quick to make it just a smidge flatter, but honestly, I don't think it's going to go. And I don't want to put pressure. I don't know if I'm going to break this when I hit it because I don't know what kind of metal it's made out of. But I don't want to put pressure on this bead because this bead is glass. And the way that it's sitting in there, it's going to be getting pressure all the time. So let me see if I can just widen this up a little bit. Ooh, I made it flat. I didn't want to make it flat. And I broke it. Okay, so if you make it flat, it's going to break. FYI, let's try another. I was doing pretty good there for a moment. Okay, not broken. Tippity tap. Tippity tapping it. Okay, let's see about that. Okay, that's better. I prefer that. So I have tried to hammer some of these in the past, and like I said, sometimes they break, but this one worked out pretty good. I tapped it a couple times, and the thing is that this bead is glass, and you don't want it to be having pressure on it all the time, because it will break. So that actually worked out pretty good. And then we will put on the little topper bead. Now, I think I want the more pointy side to be pointing up. So there we go. Doing pretty good. And I'm hoping that I can do a wrapped loop on this and have enough wire. So I'm going to try to make it really small. And I know you're like, but Randy, why do you need a wrapped loop on this one and not on the other? And the answer to that question is the other is not holding up the whole weight of the necklace. This one is going to be holding the whole weight of the pendant attached to the necklace, and I just prefer for it to be on a wrapped loop for safety purposes. I know you're also thinking, Randy, where is your black plier? It's upstairs. It's upstairs in my travel bag. Alright, so we were able to get that going on. Super happy about that. So now there is an option to just connect this here to this little loop. However, whenever you're moving wire, you're gonna, oh, I'm sorry, just all blurry. So we're gonna connect these two loops together with a jump ring. Now, whenever you're moving wire, there's a possibility you're gonna make it weaker by moving it. So to be safe, I'm just not gonna move it. I'm going to add a jump ring. I happen to have a textured one. I'm gonna use that. Because this is going to be free flowing. There's going to be a lot of weight with it. Okay. Not like a lot of weight, but I mean, when you're moving around, you know, this is going to be a long necklace. It's going to be dangling about. So just for safety, we're going to go like this. Okay, make sure that's nice and good. Okay. Here we are. This is what we got for our pendant. I love it. I'm super excited about it. Lovely. It's exactly how I envisioned. The only thing that may be missing is maybe a couple of charms hanging down. Also, if you're feeling extra fancy today, go ahead, get your patina paints out, give this a little once over. Alright, hammer away. We're going to move into the next step. The next step, zoom me out a little. The next step is getting our string ready. So I'm going to do, let me see. I'm going to do 1.5 arm's length wingspan. Not 1.5. I'm going to do almost 1 full wingspan. 3/4 of a wingspan for each side of this necklace. 3/4 of a wingspan sounds good. Let me tell you exactly what that is. Let's consult the froggy tape. So 3/4 of a wingspan for me is 49 inches. 49 inches. Just about 50 inches. That's what it is. Okay, so that is what I have. Alright, so that I might as well just cut both sides while I'm here. I mean, why wait? Because why wait? Alright. So now I got one side of my necklace. Now I will admit that I normally don't have one side of a necklace going on, but it is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread this through here. Let's zoom you down. Okay, thread this through here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie an overhand knot, just like you're tying a knot in your shoe. Okay, I'm going to go one, and then I'm going to go one, and then I'm going to do the surgeon's knot and go around again, pull that down, and that's all I need to do. Now, for the sake of this necklace, I am going to do a carousel. I always do this just because I think it looks nice. This has actually nothing to do with function. So to do the carousel, it's just like when you were a kid and you would make friendship bracelets. So you make the figure 4 and put it through, and then you hold on to the longest tail, you pull this up, and each one that you make is going to just fall in line with the last one. So you're just using one strand, making a little carousel, just a little friendship bracelet here on the side. And it's just going to give it a nice look, because we're going to attach another strand on the other side of this as well. And so we kind of want it to look nice. So I'm going to do about 10 knots. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing the same stitch. I'm not doing switching any strands or anything. I'm just letting it coil up this one long strand that I have. Okay, so that's all. I'll do one more. Make the figure 4, put it through there. This is also basically like a half hitch knot. Okay, so this is my long tail, and I just pull it up and it'll just fall into place with the next one. So we're just not even going to worry about this little tail right now. We will get to that when we get to that in the end. But as of right now, we just leave it. So now here we go. This is going to be on this side. You're going to have another strand on the other side coming out the other way once we get to that side. So now what we need to do is we need to get our needle ready. So we're just going to work with this end of the strand now. So to do this really easy, you're going to take a little plastic baggie or a piece of trash or something you don't need anymore, and we're going to put a little bit of glue in there. A little glue in there. Close this up. You're going to take your string, put it into the glue. Roll the glue onto the string. Maybe go a couple of times. Okay, like so. And you're going to let that dry up. You can dispose of this or keep it for the next go, whatever you want to do. Let that dry. And in the meantime, while we're letting that dry, we can start picking out our beads. Our bead pattern. So now, I want to use these ones. And I said that I would put these more towards the front. All these little dangly leaves. These ones can go throughout. I'm not too terribly worried about that. So I'm going to have probably 2 of these for each side. Put those over there. And put 3 on that side and 3 for this side. Okay. And I want to do a little bit of green in here in between. I want to do a jade. And I want to do a couple of pieces of longer citrine. We'll see what that looks like. I'm going to do a couple of green ones. There we go. Alright, so this should be dry now. So now it should be hardened by the glue. We're going to take our cutter and we're going to cut it at an angle. And so what this is going to do is this is going to allow you to get into some beads that maybe you wouldn't normally be able to get into without a needle. Okay. So now comes the time we put on our first bead. So the first bead I'm going to put is just a little green one. Okay. So I'm just going to bring down this little green one. And this is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. So I'm going to take my tweezer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot. I'm going to take these two fingers and I'm going to consider this to be 1 1/2. In between the fingers is a half. Okay. So once I got the bead on there, I'm going to go 1 1/2 times around my fingers. Then I'm going to stick this thread through there to tie the knot. Okay, maybe I am. Yes, I am. So there's 1, and I'm going to go twice. 2 times. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tweezer and I'm going to take my fingers out of there. You have this loop. It still has your knots on there. I'm going to go through the loop to this other side, to this other strand where the bead is, and I'm going to hold on to it right on top of the bead. So wherever you put your tweezer, this is where you want your knot to go. So you want your tweezer to be right here. The important part of this is that you keep this loop on the tweezer. Don't let it come off the side here as you're pulling down. You're going to want to have it on here. So now what we do is we're going to grab hold of this tail, and you're going to see that this is going to start to come down here because it has no other choice. The knot is going to fall right where it needs to go, and you may push down with your thumb a little bit to get a little closer. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and take out the tweezer, go on top of the knot, push it down. Okay, so now what we've done is if you push the bead towards the knot and then pull it back, you'll create a little bit of space, but you're going to lock that knot into place. Sorry, my camera is really struggling to focus today. So you see the knot we've created here? Now we put on our next bead. Now if this seems like a lot, feel free to put on a couple of beads at a time. Okay, you don't have to put a knot after each one if you don't want to. You can put as many knots as you want, you know. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the capped pink one. And I'm kind of going to keep these capped pink ones more towards the bottom simply because they are heavier. Our pendant is not that heavy, and we don't want the strand itself to be heavier so that the weight is off balance. So that looks pretty good. Now here's something to note about when doing your knots. Okay, the next bead you put on, you don't necessarily want that bead to go over the top of the knot you created. So to be safe with this, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put on a couple of beads. I'm going to put on a yellow jade because it has a smaller hole than these bead caps. A bead cap, a pink one, a bead cap, and a yellow jade. So now I know when I tie my knots that I am going to not have my string going through the hole in the bead above it. Now you don't have to do that. You don't have to use these beads. You could use seed beads or spacer, or you could just do a double knot if you want to. That's completely up to you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So now we have this. Now we're going to go again. We're going to take our two fingers and we're going to go 1 1/2 times in between the fingers. Bring the string through. Go again, bring the string through. Get the tweezer, go through the loop, and get a hold of the place right above the bead. So you should have this. You should be holding this string with your tweezer. After you've gone through this loop you've created, here's your knots. Okay, now remembering, you can push down on this pretty hard, you know. Remembering wherever you put your tweezer is where your knot will go. We'll then take this tail and we're going to pull it up, and it's going to start to come down onto the tweezer. You pull it till it's tight. You can even push this in with your thumbnail if you feel it's not laying correctly. Then you're going to hold the knot, pull the tweezer out. Okay, don't pull it tight. You're going to go in here on the top, and then you're going to push the knot down. Okay, once that is in there, you're going to push that bead up towards the knot to lock in the knot, and then you're good to go. On to the next one. Now, I'm going to do one of these leaves. So I'm going to put the leaf on there. And I think for my leaf, I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot right after the leaf. I think I will. So I'm going to go 1.5 times, bring it through, go again, bring it through, get the tweezer, go through the loop, grab hold of the string right above the leaf. Okay, so now I have this. I reach around and get my tail, pull it down tight. Okay, sometimes you gotta pull it slow. You don't want to pull it too fast or your knot goes brrr, you know what I mean? Push it in, hold on to the knot, remove the tweezer, go on top. Now when I'm going on top, I'm not holding on to this string really hard. The whole purpose is to just push the knot down. So you don't need to clamp onto that string. You don't want to make that string weak. You're just gonna get in there enough to where you can pull the string and push the knot down. Okay? You're push it, and you lock that knot in. Easy peasy. Now we're on a roll. Now we're cooking with gas. Here we go. So now I think I will do a metal one. Do a metal one. What's that knot looking like? Is that going to go through there? No, that's pretty good. So again, I'm going to tie a knot. I'm going to go 1.5 times. Through and again. Perfect. I'm going to take my tweezer, go through the loop, hold on to the top of the bead. The string atop the bead. Then I'm going to get my tail. I'm going to pull it tight to the tweezer. Okay, push it down. Grab a hold of the knot and the tweezer, pull the tweezer out. Go on top, pull the string, push the knot down. Lock in the knot. We're good to go. On to the next. Once you get going with this, it's really fun. Okay, now I think I will try, well, I wanted to make sure the leaves were both kind of down here. So, I'll try another leaf. Well, maybe I'll put a green one and then a leaf. That'll look cute. So I'll put a green one and then a leaf. Oh, that's the wrong leaf. This one. And then this one. And then I'll put another green one. This is just made up. I'm just doing this because I want to. Okay, there's no rhyme or reason to this. Getting your beads on there any which way you see fit, right? Okay, and then we tie a knot 1.5 times. Go through 1, 2. Get the tweezer. Go through the loop. Grab hold of the string right above the bead. Bring it down tight to the tweezer. Grab a hold of the knot. Push it down, pull the string. Lock the knot in. Good to go. Okay? So that's what we got right here. So then I'm only going to show you how I'm going to put on these chip beads, and then I am going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit so that you guys can work on your stuff. So for right here, what I want to do with these chip beads is I want to put on like a bunch of them so that when they look kind of layered, you know. So now going through these chip beads, what you might find is that your string might get a little might get a little like a kink in it, or it might not go through there, it might get a little softer, and that's just because you've been using a lot. So what you can do is, if that happens, you can go ahead, remember to cut at an angle and cut that piece off. And you can keep going, and you can add more glue to your needle if you need to make it remain in its position. It's completely up to you. Now, some of the chip beads might not work out because they might have a little different drill on them or something. But for the most part, this one didn't work out. So what do I got on here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 on there. Bring those down. And that's what that's going to look like with my knot. Now, I think what I will do is I will tie a knot here. So I'm going to go 1.5 times, 1 and 2. Get the tweezer, go through the loop, get a hold of it right above the bead, get the tail, bring it down tight, push it if you have to, grab a hold, take the tweezer out, pull and push the knot down, and then lock the knot in. Oh yeah. That turned out exactly the way that I thought it would. Super exciting. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to create my, I mean, for the most part, this is all you need to know for this side. Okay, this is what we're getting. We're going to go up this side. You're going to make it, let me zoom out. You're going to make it as long as you want to. I'm going to make mine long. I want it to be long, like 30 something inches. Which is why I'm using a lot of the beads. I'm going to go up, and then once I get to the top, I'll show you how I am going to be putting on my toggle. Now, in most situations, I wouldn't normally be using a toggle because this is just going to go over your head, but they did provide us the toggle, so I am going to use it. And then we'll put on the second strand. There's a bunch of different ways you could make this necklace work out. Like, you could just use one strand and go around all the way and just hook it up there, not use a toggle at all. It's completely up to you. But for the sake of this, I'm showing how to attach to a toggle, how to use 2 strands. I felt there was more skills in that. So I'm going to meet you up at the top once you guys have figured out your pattern here with what you want to do, and we'll go from there. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I have made it to the top of my necklace. I'll show you the whole works here in the frame. I'm going to measure it out for you. So from where it connects onto the pendant, I have 19.5 inches of beading. 19.5 inches. Now I am going to use a toggle clasp, but let me show you a little thing. If you have had it with your knotting life, if you're like, this is not for me, once you have this, what you can do is, if you've given up hope, you can go around this way and turn it into a necklace this way, because this is going to give you, what is this? Yeah, exactly 18 inches from the top of the pendant to the beading, 18 inches of beaded length. And what you can do is you can attach on a, you could even use this front toggle clasp if you wanted to. You're going to have to add an oval jump ring here to get it to attach. I would probably go this way. And put your flower on here, and you could have a front attaching necklace this way. if you didn't want to do the double long. Now, normally this is probably how I would go, but since I've decided to make this one super long and I wanted to use the toggle in the back because, I don't know, that's what I was doing. I wanted to show a bunch of different techniques with this. I just wanted to show you this one. If you have this amount already done and you want to just do a front toggle, that would be super cute as well for 18-inch necklace right here. FYI. But that's not what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to move down here to the end, and I'm going to put on the female portion of, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Long way, Randy. I've got the female portion of the toggle clasp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just link right onto this. Now this is just how I do it. I know everybody has different ways of tying off and doing all these different things. Some people use wear guardians, whatnot. You do whatever you think is best. But this is how I'm going to do it. So this is how I do it on all my manifestation bracelets and everything. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, you can do it a couple of different ways, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put this on as though it was a charm. Tie another knot. And I'm not going to get super tight right here. I'm going to leave some room. And then I'm going to tie this knot like this. So you don't have to do it this way. It's completely up to you. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this around. And in essence, what we're doing, okay, it's moving around on me. So I'm going to put them on there, and you got 2 knots. You kind of want your little charm to sit in between there. You might have to move him back as you tie. So now I'm just going to tie a knot, just like I'm tying a knot in my shoe. But when I bring this down, what that double knot is going to do is it's going to bring it into place where you want it. So that's the point of tying that double knot. Okay, so that was only one, so now I'm going to go again. And I'm doing the surgeon's knot. In essence, I'm doing the same knot, it just looks different because it's going downwards. Tie that. Okay. And now at this point, again, we are going to do just a little bit of the carousel. So again, you're making a figure 4 or a half hitch knot. So you want to make sure that you're going underneath this strand and into this hole. Okay. Oh, I was already in there. Okay, and then you're just going to pull it down and it's going to start to carousel. So we're just going to bring it around like that. You want to make sure, just like with your half hitch knots in like peyote stitch or something, you just want to make sure they're landing right where you want them to be. And again, this is just for looksies. So you're getting that carousel knotting on there. You're also protecting your base wire. Okay, so that is that. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I tie these off. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Loctite super glue, easy peasy, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put a little bit of Loctite on this knot. Okay, just a little bit. I'll let that dry. While I got it out, I'm going to go ahead and do the same down here on this one. And you don't necessarily have to put this right on that thread. You're going to cut that thread. but you just kind of want these knots to have a little bit of security. I kind of do it in the middle. So we let that dry up. And then once it is dry, we're just going to go ahead and cut. It's still a little bit tacky, but we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut this string off as closely as we can. Careful not to cut anything else. And so this is how much string we had left after that 3/4 of wingspan, which we said was about 50 inches. And there we go. That one's good to go. Okay. And then if you feel the need to hit that with your thread zapper or with a little more glue, by all means, go ahead and do that. So now we have one side of the necklace. Okay. So then we're just going to do the exact opposite on the other side. I'm going to show you how I start it on here. In essence, it's the same situation. And then I'm going to fast forward. The only thing I want to mention is that when you are now going up the other side, okay, the only thing you want to make sure that you are doing is checking where your knots are on this side. So I did a little bit of just knotting here to make it look cute. Then I got a bicone and then a knot. Then I got 1, 2, 3 beads and then a knot and then a bead and a knot. So you want your knots to be in the same place. It's important that your beads are in the same place, but it's also important that your knots are in the same place, so otherwise it doesn't look funny. So that's all I will say about that, but otherwise the process is the same. So I'm going to get going and show you how to tie on to the other part with our I got a knot, with our pre-cut string. So also for this side, you are going to make the needle on this side as well. Same as we did with the other side. Okay, come out of there, little knot. There we go. So I'll walk you through that process one more time just in case you need it. So here we go. First things first, we're going to tie on. Just going to go through this little hole right here, the same as we did the other side. Okay. And then we're just going to make sure this side of the necklace is pointing this direction. This side's going to be going this way. And all we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot. Got to give yourself a little bit of tail here, about 6-7 inches, because we're going to do that spiraling. So you're going to go 1, and then you're going to do surgeon's knot. 1, 2. Pull it tight. Okay, so now we are going to start with the carousel. So again, you're going to make a backwards 4. You're going to put this in through the loop and pull it. Same thing. And we're going to do about 10 of these knots, because that's about how many we did on the other side. This keeps sliding. Just put that there to kind of hold it down a little bit. Just like when you were a kid, you had to make friendship bracelets for your friends. And in essence, this is just going to slide up in place where it's supposed to go once you get going on it, as long as you don't let it go over the top of each other. and you're going to see that spiraling start to emerge. It's going to want to twist on its own because it's literally creating a spiral, but you just want to make as much spiral as you made on the other side here, as you can see right there. So I got a couple more to go. Maybe one more. I wasn't counting, per usual. Alright, so again, we're just going to leave that till the end. No point messing with it right now. And now we're good to go. And like I said, all you're going to do is just make sure your knots and your beads are matching. I'll walk you through this making the needle thing one more time, which is super easy. Just get a little piece of plastic, get your glue out, put a little glue on, take your string, put it in there. I usually do about, 2 inches or so. And then bring it through there. It's important that you roll it around like that, because then it's going to get all in the string, not just parts of the string. Okay, and then you're just going to put it to the side to dry and then cut it at an angle. Alright guys, so I'm just going to continue. I'll meet you back up here at the top. I'm just going to continue on with this same pattern that I've made on this side, and then I will have my super long, beautiful knotted necklace. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, I am up here at the end, so now I'm going to again do the knot by tying on the flower portion. So I'm going to do another surgeon's knot. I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. Okay. Now I can, it's kind of hard to do with this one because it's like a stick, but you got to make sure you're going around. Got to make sure you're going around the string, or the flower, I mean, and that the string is going where it needs to go. Alright, so now I got her tied on there, and then I just gotta do the half hitch knots, and I'm not gonna have as much on this side, but pretty much the same length. Alright, I can maybe get one more in there. There we go. Alright, and then again, we're going to get the glue, and I'm going to glue in the middle of the knot, kind of, not too much, I'm just rubbing it on there. And then also the one down here. Okay. Wait for those to dry. And then give them a snip. So let me show you how much beads we had left originally while we're waiting for that to dry. Not gonna mix them up. This one was not very good. So I had 1 bead gap, 2 pink beads, a few of the lime green, but remember we cut some of that off to use in other projects. And then this is all that was left of the yellow. Oh wait, here's the bar. Of the yellow jade. So that's what I ended up having left from this. And now I should be able to come in here and snip this off. And snip this one off. And like I said, if you want to hit those with the thread zapper, or, you know, do a lighter, or hit them again with some glue, that's completely up to you. So here is the finished product. Make sure that's not gonna glue to that. There we go. And so this is quite long, so I'm just gonna double it up here on the mat for you so you can see it all. But yeah, this is our finished project. So when I'm wearing this, it's going to hang down. It's going to hang down quite a ways. I can show it to you, I guess, when we flip. Oh, I don't have my other camera down here. Well, anyway. It's going to be quite long. Let me measure it. And that was the purpose of this. It's supposed to be one I could wear with my jumpers, you know. So with the clasp, we have a total, I would say down to here, we have 19 inches, which works out to be 38 inches long. So, I mean, it's a long one. It's supposed to be long, but that's how she turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. Here's kind of a look at the beads. Since they are knotted, they feel a little more substantial on the string. The pendant's quite nice. I'll get you guys some photos. But anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I really had fun making it. I think that it turned out really nice. I even like the toggle in the back. Like I said, I did give an option in the middle of this video if you were like, I don't want to make a long one. I gave an option of how you can make a smaller one just like this. So options, options, options. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. This concludes project number 1. I will get some photos and leave a little montage. But I'm glad you guys are here and you're watching. Please make sure to give me a like and a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can find me on the internet again when I come back for project number 2. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm sending all the good beady vibes, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye.